This episode's with Cody Schneider. So we gave away 3 trends that we think you can build a bunch of internet businesses on top of it. One is AI landing page builder.
I'm becoming obsessed with this trend because this is something that we do internally, and it's an absolute pain, and all the tools that are out there just suck. So
one is the BuyItForLife trend that we got from Reddit.
Dude, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this community, by the way. Like, I am one of these people. So,
and the third is viral formats on TikTok and how to build a business around that.
The opportunity here is that people are trying to find the formats or the TikTok templates that are going viral currently.
These are 3 trends we think are super, super interesting. We tell you why we think it's interesting. We give you the tactics on actually how to build businesses there. And you're going to learn a lot from this conversation. People gatekeep the sauce, but we don't gatekeep the sauce on the Startup Ideas podcast. Enjoy the episode.
The Startup Ideas podcast. Sipping time, baby.
All right, we got Cody Schneider on the podcast. The man needs zero introduction. Today, what we're going to talk about is we're going to go through the few trends, the 3 or 4 trends that we're thinking about. And from those trends, we're going to come up with startup ideas on the fly. Welcome to the pod, Cody. What's good?
Dude, I don't know, man. It's been so busy. I'm stoked to be here, but this week has been chaos. But I'm wired. We're caffeinated. We're ready to go.
We're ready to go. Okay, so the first trend we're going to talk about is the BuyItForLife trend. This actually came to me from the subreddit.
Dude, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this community, by the way. Like, I am one of these people.
So yeah, maybe talk about what it is, what the movement is, and let's go from there.
So from my understanding, it stems from like anti-consumerism. I look at it more of like, I just want to buy the best of whatever it is. So for example, we just bought a blender, and I bought this like industrial blender that is their suggestion, like their buy it for life suggestion, basically, where it's like, oh, this thing is going to last multiple generations. And so there's this pushback right now for like kind of buying cheap stuff that's going to break, right? And whether it's clothes, whether it's like home good products, etc. And so this subreddit, basically, people go in and they ask, and they're like, hey, I want X thing, or I'm about to purchase X thing. What should I get? Like, what's the best quality that I can get, for whatever the category is in? And then people come in and they basically will tell their story. So that's kind of the high level of what this looks like. Are you in this, or do you kind of like, are you a part of this, G, or did you just find it interesting?
I heard about it. I just started perusing it. I saw, one of the posts, I think it might've been this post, went on the front page. I gave my dad this Batman wallet 10 years ago. I was like 4 or 5 years old, and I got it in preschool. He uses it to this day. So from this post, I think I started just perusing, and then I just started going to Google Trends. I use an app called Glimpse. I'm not associated with them or anything. I just think it gives you like a better view on Google Trends. So I saw that, and I was like, okay, is this a big movement or is it a small movement? And it seems like it's literally, I mean, it's gaining a lot of steam. 69,000 searches in the past month, and it just got me thinking that there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity to build some businesses on top of this trend.
100%. The first one for me, and like, I wish this existed again, being in this kind of buyer persona. I want to be able to make a wish list of like all the products that I'm looking to purchase that are these buy it for life products. So to take a step back, how the community works is it's like every category, they have like a whole list of like, for every category, here's the best product that you can buy for each of those categories. So say you're trying to get like a washing machine, right? And you want it to last for forever. You can go in, you can find their list of washing machines that are the best washing machines. But the thing is what I want is I want basically alerts for when those washing machines come into, like, they're on sale basically. So how I'm imagining this is like a platform that's like, scraping all of the major retailers for these specific products, and then I get a notification when like a price or sale happens. Basically, I would pay for this tomorrow, specifically for like, there's these pair of boots, right? They're like Doc Martens, but it's the company that used to manufacture Doc Martens, and then Martin got bought by PE, and the quality went to shit. And then this company started producing their own boots. They're like out of the UK, super expensive. They go on sale sometimes, and so I'm just imagining like it's basically a listening tool for that, for these Buy It for Life products, because a lot of these products typically they have like a higher. I mean, it's just they're more expensive, right? Because the quality is so good. And so I imagine you could build something like this, and this entire community would probably be all over it, right? And it's just, again, this listening software. There's probably an affiliate play as well. So it's like, for example, it goes on sale, on Walmart or Nordstrom's or whatever, and you get an affiliate commission for all that traffic that you're driving. But I feel like this could be a combo, like maybe it's a newsletter is what it starts out as, and then from there it evolves into like a whole platform. But I'm curious your thoughts, like business wise, what would make what you think is an opportunity.
Yeah. So, okay, first of all, if you're looking at my screen, it shows clothing, bags, kitchen, tools. It basically creates a directory of these threads where people are recommending products. This is like surfing Craigslist. This is ridiculous. Like when I see this, my eyes light up, because there's an opportunity to build the directory just way more with filters, way more beautiful. No one wants to cycle through this. This is not going to hit the mainstream, right? So I think that there's an opportunity to build. First, you build the directory, and we've talked on the show about how to build the directory. You can use tools. We had John Rush come on, and you can use a tool. He has a tool called Quick Break in the Pod to tell you a little bit about Startup Empire. So Startup Empire is my private membership where it's a bunch of people like me, like you, who want to build out their startup ideas. Now they're looking for content to help accelerate that. They're looking for potential co-founders. They're looking for tutorials from people like me to come in and tell them, how do you do email marketing? How do you build an audience? How do you go viral on Twitter? All these different things. That's exactly what Startup Empire is. And it's for people who want to start a startup but are looking for ideas, or it's for people who have a startup but just they're not seeing the traction that they need. So you can check out the link to startupempire.co in the description.
Anyway, if you go search John Rush, you'll find it.
You'll find it. Or recently we had someone else come on the pod that was like, just make it using WordPress and figure out the keywords with Ahrefs. Anyways, the point being that you can build a directory like pretty simply nowadays, or honestly use Cursor, or Lovable or a Bolt. So you create you figure out what domain. Like, what domain do you think would make sense for a directory like this?
I would try to get it like as exact match as possible. So like something that has like Buy It for Life in it. That would be, what I would go after personally, because I would want to try to rank this for the exact match keyword, right? I don't know. Let's see if Buy It for Life is available or something.
By the way, you know what I was thinking about recently? I just went to GoDaddy.com.
Yeah.
You're over 30 when you still go to GoDaddy.com.
I love it.
Right?
Do you know instant domain search?
No.
Check it out. It basically like it live streams like in the application the options. So if you do like Buy It for Life, you'll
sick.
Yeah, they're great.
Sick. So maybe it's like you want to BuyItForLife.com.
And what I would probably look at too is like Buy It for Life products, some variation that looks like it's taken. You get, you find some variation of that. BuyItForLifeProduct.com. Boom, right there. Somebody's going to go snack.
For sure. And also you want to buyitforlife.com available as well. So
Totally.
these exist.
Totally.
Don't tell us that you can't get the .com. We don't want to hear it.
100%. So I would do that personally. And then I think the angle that I would go at this from you could probably use the subreddit as the way to like drive initial traffic if you did it really like basically provide a ton of value, and then at the bottom of the post like be like, oh, I also made this curated list directory where you can filter by specific things, and then the retailers that sell this, etc. But I'm just looking at SEMrush on my side though, G, and there's all these long tail keyword variations. So buy it for life vacuum, buy it for life couch, buy it for life shoes, wallet, cookware, jeans, socks, belt, list goes on. There's about 1,000 of these that you could go after. So it'd be build this directory, and then you make these landing pages where it's for each of those long tail keywords. Build some backlinks too. I mean, it's easily the way to kind of get the initial traction for this. And then from there, I think you could sell where it's like you have a sale listener. They exist. They're easy to build. Or you just have an affiliate like play on this directory where it's like, oh, you drive them off to, again, Nordstrom or wherever, and you get an affiliate commission for that traffic that you're driving. And like they'll pay you for that traffic, right? So that traffic that's coming off that page, you can then take that and that's kind of the initial way to get traction. The other side is then, put Mediavine or one of these display ad companies on that site and get traffic from that as well, or get ad spend, basically paid for that traffic that you're getting from people coming there. So,
by the way, with the Reddit thing, you bring up a good point, which is how do you get traffic from Reddit without getting your post banned or your account banned? And something I usually do is I'll create a post and just add as much value as possible, and then at the end just sign my name and like Greg, and then Greg from BuyItForNowProducts.com, and just link that. So you're not even saying like go here, check this out. It's just like people are generally curious, and especially if you're going to get that domain and you're speaking to that community, like you will get free traffic.
100%. This is actually a newsletter play that I see a lot of people use for local newsletters. They go to a subreddit for that area. So like Toronto as an example. And they're like, here's 20 things you can do this weekend in Toronto. And then it's like, you want more like this? And then at the bottom of the post, they're like, sub to this email newsletter. Such an easy tactic that is just like crushing it right now. And so then strategically what you do is you do the post in the super early morning. So like 4 a.m. or whatever. And typically the mods of that location are geography based. So they're going to be in that location. And then you go and you can buy Reddit upvotes and you can basically ride the wave into people waking up and scrolling Reddit. You hit page one and then you go to the top of the page. So random tactical thing that I know exists that friends have shown me works. So
love it. Okay. So that's idea number one. Pretty simple. Basically, building on top of that community, pick the domain name with the exact term, build a directory, mostly using AI, layer on a beehive or a newsletter piece for sales, and then get traffic via SEO, Reddit, that sort of thing. But,
dude, go to BuyItForLife.com right now. This is literally the exact business that we're talking about, which is hilarious. Like, it's like, so I have not seen this. Just throwing this out there. I just went to it. Like, if you Google BuyItForLife, you don't go to it. I just went to the exact domain because I saw it was owned by somebody, and this is literally the exact business.
So when you see this, are you like, I don't want to create this business now? Like, what's your thought process now?
Immediately, I'm like, validation. Cool. I can go and compete in this, right? Like, people get so worried about competitors in internet businesses and like online businesses. And I think that it is such a terrible way to think about it. Like there's 50 window cleaning companies in your wherever you live. There's like a ton of businesses that clean windows, and all of them can exist and make money. But for some reason, we don't think about the internet in the same way. Like all of these businesses can exist and make money, especially in a category like this where there's like 70,000 searches per month for Buy It for Life. You're telling me that you can't go and compete in that category? Like you can 100% do that. So
what do you use to check if a website has traffic?
I just use SEMrush and then SimilarWeb. I can look them up on SimilarWeb right now. Give me a second. So SEMrush, not a ton of traffic, but it looks like it's real, like they're brand new. Like in July of 2024, it looks like they started publishing. And then let me go to SimilarWeb. I'll do the same thing. Yeah, SimilarWeb's showing about 5,000 in traffic a month. So again, probably super early, or sorry, not even 5,000, about 2,000 in traffic per month.
So it's interesting. The guy who started this, Darcy, Buy It for Life. I'm on his X account. He tweets about investing in domains, right? So this is a guy who's a domainer, basically.
100%.
Yeah. This is like the easiest business on the planet, something like this. Like you find a subreddit that's like starting to pop off. You validate with Google Trends and Ahrefs. You either build a domain or you buy the domain. And then you start with the directory, you add a newsletter, and then you eventually add some software business.
100%. I just bought a jobdescriptiongenerator.com for $800.
Okay, and what are you going to do with it?
So what we're seeing in SEO is that when there's branded searches for the website, you can create these niche sites basically around them. So little history, all the niche sites got clapped with all the Google updates, right? But all the sites that were performing really well, they had some amount of branded searches going to them. And so our thesis was like, okay, well, like Google is factoring in, is branded searches coming to the website? And then if that's a portion of the traffic, like a decent amount, then that means that like this is kind of a real company, right? So we're like, okay, let's go buy this exact match domain. I just got it like 2 weeks ago. So we're still in the process of doing this, but go buy that exact match domain. We go build backlinks that are like exact match keyword backlinks, niche edits that are a job description generator. We get that page to rank for that exact match keyword. But then the long-term play is we go and we do job description templates for every job that exists, right? And then you basically turn this into a niche site. But because the homepage of the website is like a tool, naturally what will happen is that when you hit page one for that target keyword, you're going to create this like link flywheel around that website, right? So people search job description generator, they land on the site, it does the job, it writes a job description for them. They will include that within their blog post, or a journalist includes that within their blog post, or it naturally will build links for that website once you hit page one. And so because of this, you're going to build this domain authority. You're getting branded searches to come to the website, and then I can go and build out 10,000 long tail landing pages that are blog posts for every template, every other keyword that's in this category, right? And then you go and you turn this into it's probably some type of display ads play. For us, how we're thinking about it is as a way to drive traffic to our talent sourcing agency. So we get all of this. If you're searching job description generator, typically early signal that you're trying to hire, we can use that to drive traffic to people that are trying to hire. So.
And did that idea, did it come to you just naturally, or were you like kind of searching around? Like I'm just curious of how it came to you.
Yeah, I mean, this was based off of everything that we were seeing on the SEO side, where it's like, I mean, I've owned niche sites for the last 10 years, and tons of them got clapped. I had this one that was doing like, I don't know, close to 30,000 in traffic a month, and now is doing like, I think 100, right? And and it's an old site, like it's been around for forever, right? And so when we saw that, we were like, okay, well, why aren't these real brands being affected? And the kind of thing that we landed on is like, oh, it's because people are searching for this real brands. And so Google is prioritizing companies that look like real companies, right? Like there's branded search that's coming to it. And so if that's the case, then, we again started thinking about, okay, how do you build niche sites that can exist in this new paradigm? And then from there, kind of connected these two ideas of everybody's been building calculators, tools, generators as a way to create link magnet flywheels for their websites, right? So for example, like one we just built recently was remodel cost calculator. We built that for a client. We embed it on the website. We build niche edits back to it. That starts to rank. It naturally builds links. And so like the links that we build become even more effective, like more at getting the site to rank. And so then connected those two dots together. Well, hey, let's buy an exact match domain. We know that branded searches are a factor in niche sites ranking. We'll build links to that exact match. The tool does a thing. The tool will naturally build backlinks, and then this turns into a niche site. And again, super, super early idea, but this is something that I think is a huge opportunity for somebody that's trying to start their first online business. Is
Totally.
Go find like all the long tail keywords related to generator, related to calculator, related to tool. If you can find an exact match domain, go buy it. There, some can be expensive. Like the more competitive they are, the more expensive they're going to be. And then go use these like again AI tools like Bolt, like Lovable, like whatever to spin these up. Embedded on the homepage, like on a word, literally it's a WordPress website. Is like the job description generator.com. We just embedded the app like on the homepage, and then we're just going to use the classic WordPress like CMS functionality to do all the blog posts. Like it's not complicated, right? So anyway, that's kind of where the origin of all of this came from.
Yeah, I mean, and to think that there's people listening to this podcast that want to go out and buy real estate, get like $1 million loan from the bank, right?
It's insane.
To go buy. Yeah, I know.
It's literally insane to me. Like I tweeted this, I think yesterday. It was. I'll read it right now. It's like, why would you buy a business anymore? You could start one in an hour. By end of day, you can have 30 clips. And you got 1,000 views on each of those clips and your first signups. Why would you buy a business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also it's like, and that's why I wanted to do a trend episode with you is it's not like we have to guess around the trends, right?
No, the data's there. It's public.
The data's there. It's public, right? Cody, I want to go through 2 more trends.
Do it.
Before we head out today. Let me share my screen real quick. So the second trend, AI landing page. What were you thinking about here?
Yeah, so I'm becoming obsessed with this trend because this is something that we do internally, and it's an absolute pain, and all the tools that are out there just suck. So landing pages, why you use them. So for example, we run paid ads for clients. We need to build specific landing pages so that the media that we're running aligns with the page that they're landing on. So somebody searches, X keyword, and then they land on a page where the H1 of that landing page is that X keyword. So a lot of the times clients, like they don't really have a CMS that they're using for their current website that like allows for us to go build 100 different landing page variations, right? So you'd go and you do something like instant pages or lead pages. There's this new one that's absolutely crushing it right now. I don't know if you've heard of it yet. It's called Perspective. It's perspective.co. It basically allows you to build. It's basically a funnel builder, Greg. It's so sick. You should have Niels on the show also. He's a gangster. They're out of Berlin, out of Germany. Self-funded, bootstrapped, 10 million ARR in like 3 years. Absolutely stupid. Literally using their software for all of their acquisition. So the difference is that it's built for mobile. So it's funnels, but built for mobile. And it feels like an app. You can kind of see it here on the screen where it's like, you can have like yes, no checkboxes, and they click it and it like does confetti. It feels like an app when the user opens it, but it's actually just a lead form that gets them down the funnel. But I think the opportunity here on the landing page side is I want to just be able to go in and be like, here's kind of this brand's like aesthetic. Go build me a landing page template, like based off of this automatically. I don't want to have to like drag any of these blocks around, do any of that. And I think it's possible right now, like you're seeing this already with like how people are using V0 or using Lovable. Like you can do this, but there isn't an easy way to deploy it to a subdomain. So for example, we use like lp.example.com, right? So we're living on that subdomain for our clients. So how I imagine this working is you have like a brand template for each of your clients, and then it generates this landing page template, and then you can go in and modify these landing pages using a point and click solution, right? So I think there's a huge opportunity here just to do that for these this category, and you can see it there. Like tons of people are searching for this, but I've been pitched so many of these. Like I've talked about this idea for like the last 3 months. I've been pitched so many landing page builders, and it's like a full website builder. Like I'm not trying to do that. The angle here is digital marketing agencies that are running ads, or just anybody that's running display ads or Google ads. That's who you're selling this to, right? It's not, really what this is like imagine Webflow, but you could chat with it like you do with Cursor to create a landing page. Like that's what you're trying to accomplish with this. And then once you've figured out that template, okay, I can go and duplicate that 100 times, change the H1 100 times, etc. So
I saw last week Webflow launched a AI assistant. Did you see this?
no, I haven't. Is it good? Have you tried it yet?
No, I haven't tried it yet. Someone needs to try it. I'm going to try it this weekend probably. But that's my question to you on this is like, it's so obvious that the website builders, the funnel builders are going to have this. And also Shopify launched one, I think, as well. I saw Toby tweeted it. Toby, let me pull it up. Toby, the founder of Shopify. Both Toby and Harley tweeted it. So you know that it's like,
they're going to push it. Yep.
They're going to push it. Describe your business, and AI will get you started with just the right design. We have lots more coming on this front. So he's teasing it. Incredibly excited about how much more accessible entrepreneurship will become due to the power of AI tools. So again, like we talked about competition, when you see things like this coming from Shopify, Webflow, you still think it's a good business idea?
100%. I mean, that's just Shopify, right? Like think about, right. I mean, I think Lead Pages does 50 million a year, if I remember correctly. Like that means it's a huge category. Like this is a huge category that you can go. This is the same thing. Like, I mean, there can be MailChimps and Klaviyo's and, Kits and Beehives and all of these email service providers, and they can still all be massive companies because it's such a huge category. This is one of those categories, right? Like this is the fact that Perspective can come in and in years bootstrapped go from 0 to 10 million ARR, like signals how big this audience is, right? So again, if the big dogs are doing it, that is a strong signal that people want this. So you just got all the validation you need. You have the search volume validation. You've got the incumbent validation, and they're going to move super slow on it. I mean, you can probably like a crack team of 2 engineers go do this, and then you just run Google ads to it for landing page builder, or you go sponsor YouTubers that run that do Google ads videos, right? Like how to do Google ads for real estate agents or whatever, right? And you pay them to use your tool within their video when they're teaching people how to run Google ads.
By the way, side note for people watching this on YouTube, the Perspective AI website is the most gangster, beautiful website I've seen in a long time. Like they did it
gorgeous.
Perfectly. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. And look how much video is on this, right? Like it's 2025 people. People don't want to read. They want these videos. They're on Instagram stories, going through stories. They'll watch your videos, and the affinity that you're going to get, your conversion rate's going to go through the roof, and they do it in a really tasteful way. You kidding me? The 15-minute express demo pop-up, beautiful.
I'll intro you to Neil. You need to have him on. He's just like right. They're so locked in on this, G. Like it would be a great episode.
Okay, cool. Will do. All right, you have time for one last trend?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, TikTok template trend. 98,000 searches in the past month. What are you thinking about here?
Yeah. So to me, you had Lauren on recently, right? And he was talking about basically how they're using TikTok to get mobile app downloads. I think they went from 0 to 100,000 downloads on the App Store in like 15 days, if I remember the data right. Insane. And the opportunity here is that people are trying to find the formats or the TikTok templates that are going viral currently. So I think there's an angle to go and build like an email newsletter that's basically like, hey, here's the formats that are going viral this week on TikTok, and here's how you can go and use these for your brand right now, right? So I'd almost just look at like what Jason Levin is doing with Meme Lord Technologies, I think is the brand name, and they have an email newsletter where like daily they basically drop like, here are the viral meme templates that are going viral in the last 24 hours. One button click and you can jump into their editor and like make your own version of it. I think it could be the same idea where it's like, here's the viral TikTok formats, the templates that are going viral at the moment, and then basically drops them right into it so that they can go and build these, right? That's how I'm kind of imagining it as the step one. Then, I mean, it could evolve into where it's like a whole video editor that's specifically for it, and maybe there's like a social scheduling application. But I think the first, and then my acquisition would be literally like, it would just be Twitter threads with like, here's the 5 formats that are going viral on TikTok this week, right? And it's like boom, 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 and then it's like it breaks down each of the formats, and then at the bottom of it, it's like join my email newsletter to get these, daily or whatever, right? I think that tomorrow is a company that anybody could go start.
Crushes it on those threads.
Yes,
this dude,
100% with
you
Shortamize.
follow this guy?
Yeah.
Shortamize.
Yep. No, they do.
So he's doing pretty much what you're saying, right? He's going and saying, this prayer meditation app is doing 1 million MRR, 5 million downloads, and then usually he didn't in this particular thread, but he did do it. He'll show what is the content mix and how they're doing it, and what is the format, so that you can go and copy it.
Totally. And just imagine this exact same like template, but the call to action is, sub to my email newsletter so you can get this on a daily basis, right? Then that email list, you go and monetize it. It's the classic just playbook. And then from there, you can build you can take it as far as you want, right? Where you go and you build technology on top of it, et cetera. But you could make it a paid email newsletter where it's like the free version is only once a week, and then the paid version is daily.
Yeah, exactly. I think people sleep on paid newsletters.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
I stand behind this. I think we talked about it on the show at some point in the past, but basically redoing Scott's cheap flights, but doing it just as an email newsletter. So you can set up alerts on Google Flights for specific airports to other airports, and then anytime that the price drops for a future flight, it'll email you. So like literally all you'd have to do is put like an email listener on the email for like whatever location you're trying to fly from, say it's Seattle. And then you go and like every time that you basically do a roundup of all the Google flights for that day. And then each day you send the flights, right? I think you could charge for this super easily because those flights, they'll only be cheap for like 72 hours. And so basically like people, it's there's like a time sensitivity to it. Also going just like sucks now. And so I think because of that, there's a disruption opportunity. And I don't think it'd be crazy.
It sucks. The name is the brand name. Just like you don't feel anything, right?
Totally.
You felt something with Scott's cheap flights. Like you kind of resonated. And this is exactly how not to brand something in 2025.
Totally agree.
All right, dude. It's been a pleasure. Always a pleasure having you on.
Thanks for hosting, man.
Like always, I will include links to where to find Cody and follow him. His X account, his YouTube, and more will be in the show notes. Cody, is there one thing you want to leave people with at all?
I think the last thing I want to leave people with is just to be anti-boring businesses. Like, don't go buy a wash, like a coin laundry store. Like, why would you do that right now? I just feel so. Also, it kills me too because the gurus that pitch this, there's so many of them, right? Like, do boring businesses, and it's like, okay, what's the first thing they do when they get success? Is they take the money that they made from their boring business and they go buy online businesses that are cash flowing assets for them. Like, immediate action after. Like, if these boring businesses are so good, why aren't you reinvesting the funds that you're making back into these boring businesses? Like, if they're such a good. So anyway, with that in mind, for everybody that's listening, like, it is easier than ever to build these online companies. Like, you can literally just ask Perplexity, how do I do this? And it's going to give you a step-by-step, process for how you build a WordPress site out or whatever, right? And that's the kind of, I just want to brainwash everybody to think about it that way. Like, if you're trying to get start your first company.
Yeah, you don't want to be that person, in 2052, in the year 2052, where your grandson Jimmy comes up to you and said, hey, grandpapa, what did you do in 2025? Oh, I decided to buy a laundromat in Des Moines, Iowa,
Dude,
while the greatest gold rush of all time was happening, where there were literally all the data and trends around this is what you can build, and then software and assistance to help you go build them.
100%. 100%. I don't think people understand the moment that we're in right now. Like, this is the greatest time ever to start online businesses. I'm like not sleeping because of this, right? Like, we're just like, how do we go faster? How do I hire more people to move quicker? So anyway.
Yeah, totally. And we've been in the game for a while. Like, I've never felt like this personally.
100%. Not at the rate that you can move now. It's the most, again, I like, in an hour, you can have a company live and people on the website. Like, we just did this with AIinfographicgenerator.com, right? Like, Replit built the application in an hour. We had it live in an hour. And then I put a tweet out and we drove, I think so far over like 20,000 people have gone to the website, and we validated the idea because somebody bought it. And like, I already know the comments. They're going to be like, well, you have an audience already. So it's like, dude, all I've done is, like, every Sunday I just write 70 tweets. Like, this is it's not hard. It's like very simple how to do this, right? It's just like nobody wants to show up and do the work, but it's easier than ever to show up and do the work for this. So anyway.
Also, people forget, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, you didn't have an audience.
No, I zeroed it. Like, I was ghost on everything, right? And that was, like, it was intentional. And then we realized, this is this massive leverage point. Like, if we go and build this. So it's like, cool, just go to each channel, figure out the game. Like, right now I'm figuring out LinkedIn, right? I have no idea how to do LinkedIn, but like, I'm almost there from cracking it. Like, there's two formats that I'm seeing work. You do a video that's about news and then your take on that news goes viral every time. And the other side is like, make some huge claim in a long format post and then have an image that is a vertical aspect ratio. So when somebody's scrolling on their mobile device, the post takes over their whole screen with like some huge claim. And if you just go to my LinkedIn, you'll see this exact format. Those are working. Like, that's, but this game is the same for every channel. It's like, figure out what works, do more of what works and less of what doesn't. You can build these audiences, dude. It's like 24 months. That's all it takes. It's just showing up, right? Like, you show up, you're beating 95% of people. And like,
totally.
to be the best, like, to be in the top 1%, all you have to do is just look at what works and do more of that. That's all it takes to play.
And what works is public. You can see what works.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's been funny watching you, like, grow, Greg, because I feel like all of these shows have popped up now that it's the same format. It's like, here's these businesses, here's startup ideas, here's these business ideas that you can do. And this is the game, right? Like, you invented this new format, or you remix this, this format, and then suddenly it goes viral, and then all these other people go and copy it. And then it's just like, you just do this in every platform where you're trying to build audience. So
totally. And it's a game of constant reinvention. So you have to be okay to switch it up, switch formats, and uh, and and that's kind of like vibe marketing in a lot of ways, I guess, right? You're like reading vibes to see like is this format working? Is it not working? And you're kind of iterate on the fly.
100%. Like what I always tell people, or like founders in particular, when they're trying to grow companies, is like you are agnostic to what works. Like your job is just to do a bunch of things, see what's performing best, and then just follow that data, right? Like you don't have an opinion on it. The data is going to tell you the best outcomes. Your job is to not have an opinion. It's to just let the data speak for itself and follow, keep pulling that thread. So, but I think it's the hardest thing for people. They like want to impose, like I see this all the time where they're like, oh, this content format isn't working on this channel. It's like, of course it's not working on that channel. Like that's like, when the internet first started and they just like moved print like on to a website, like, of course it's not working. Right. And then what worked? There was like this new format that was like blog content. And now suddenly, the New York Times is actually making money again because they transitioned over to this. That's a whole other conversation because they're actually a games company, which I find fascinating. Like they're like a media company that sells subscriptions to games, and like that's actually how they make their money. That's a whole other rabbit hole that we don't need to go down.
My other quick rabbit hole that I'll just seed people with is that YC is a YouTube channel, not a startup accelerator.
1,000%. They're a media company. They're not a. They're
a
like,
media company.
Totally.
Yeah, but specifically their YouTube channel. I don't know if you've been paying attention. Like they've been putting so much effort into growing it, and they're actually doing an amazing job.
They're crushing it.
And they're crushing it. They're absolutely crushing it. No, I say this with like good on YC. Like it's cool that like if I was the CMO of YC, I would be doing exactly what YC is doing.
A16Z is also killing it. I think they're doing the game. It's crazy to me too that like every VC doesn't have a podcast and an email newsletter. Like
totally
insane to me.
What are you doing,
dude? It's nuts. They're like, oh, we naturally get the best founders, and I'm like, okay, like capital is basically a commodity at this point. So the only differentiation is going to be like you being, a cult leader personality, and so the fact that they're not investing in this is insane. I mean, we're working with for the podcasting agency that I own. Like we're working with some investors on this. They're like we're working with this finance company, right? And in the last 2 years, we made the founder like from nobody knows him in the industry to he's famous to the point where like big 4 banks are trying to sponsor the show, right? Like that is what can happen. But for some reason, they're like, oh no, like we're core, man. Like we're not going to do this. I'm like, it's just ridiculous to me. So.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Later, everyone. Peace.